Is this the most mass shootings you ever heard of in 1 year? Now, I'm not trying to start no conspiracies. I'm just going to point out coincidences. Let's see what Joe Biden got to say about the New World Order.
And now's the time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there. And we've got...
He said there's going to be a new world order out there. So coincidence number one, it's an Illuminati card deck game called the New World Order that was published in 1996. And in that card game, it's a card called Gun Control. So Joe Biden speaks about shifting into a new world order. It's an Illuminati game called New World Order. And it's a card in that deck called Gun Control. Now let's play chess real quick. If they create a problem like mass shootings, then they can create stricter gun laws. And if they take away our sovereignty and our guns, that's checkmate, meaning the game is over. Crazy coincidence, right?
Meanwhile, in Canada,
we're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. In other words, we're capping the market for handguns.
this is the book of Isaiah, the 10th chapter and the first verse, and it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Before I get started with this lesson, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachah Kodash, giving double honors unto the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom unto the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the men, women, and children, listening and learning from the servants of prophets Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and a hearty shalom to the sincere brethren, doing the work in truth and sincerity, spread across the four winds of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling and election sure. Shalom, shalom. So this lesson is going to be volume 3 of Unrighteous Decrees and the Rise of the Global Police State. Lord's will, this lesson is informative and edifying. Let's start out with this precept and we'll go from there. This is Isaiah 10:1, and it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." And to decree something is to command something or to mandate something, to force, Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. And woe means destruction. And what are unrighteous decrees? Well, unrighteous decree is to, let's just pull it up. Salakia. Not righteous, not upright, wicked, sinful, evil, not according with right or justice, unfair or unjust. And these are unjust decrees that they're, pushing forth in the general public. But they have to do these things to push their plan into the next phase. Total world domination, pushing people into government houses in the form of these concentration camps, trying to crown their enterprise. Now let's go into this article right here, which came out, a little while ago. And it reads, "Handguns. BBC proposes complete freeze on ownership." And this came out the other day, May 30th, 2022. And it's June. And they are pushing the MOTB infrastructure. The first step is central bank digital currencies, biometric IDs, facial recognition technologies, travel passports, and so on and so forth. setting everything up in the grocery stores to, be digital. They had the ability for you to swipe. Then all of a sudden you could put your chip, you could put your credit card with the chip in it, and all of a sudden all you have to do is tap. Well, that's gradualism. And now you can pay by your hand with Amazon Palm Pay. Also, MasterCard, they have an ability for you to pay using your face or your hand. Slowly but surely walking people down with gradualism into the MOTB technology, and eventually to the potato chip with no dip, the chip with no salsa, the charagma. And it's coming. Let's go into this article. Canada proposes complete freeze on ownership. So, Canada already has far stricter gun ownership laws than the United States. His government is proposing a new law, talking about Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. His government is proposing a new law that would freeze private ownership of all short-barreled firearms. The legislation would not ban the ownership of handguns outright, but would make it illegal to buy them, and eventually make it illegal to own them, But first they have to do, the first step of gradualism is to stop the buying and selling. Mr. Trudeau proposal comes days after a deadly shooting at a Texas primary school in the neighboring U.S., killing 21 people. The bill, which was presented to Canada's Parliament on Monday, makes it impossible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in the country. And this is coming to Babylon the Great pretty soon, because what'd you have President Joe Biden do? The same thing. He's suggesting the same thing, Kamala Harris, she's suggesting the same thing. She wants to call for an assault weapons ban, And there's nothing wrong with you owning a gun. That's your business, But you're not supposed to take these things to camp. And you have men, Slakia, who are going to do exactly that. Just like these guys right here. Let's play this.
Shalom. We at it again. Out here waking up with people. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do it.
This the book of Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 10. And it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He had put him to grief. When thou shalt...
And just, speaking as a man, this is agent activity. This is hireling activity. Because the scriptures make it clear that you're not supposed to take these things to camp. Now, if you own one, as far as in your personal life, you keep one at home, you're legally registered, that's your business. But you're not supposed to put your faith in that weapon, because it can jam. It can get taken.
His soul with offering for sin.
To the Most
He
High
shall
closes
see
the
his
door.
seed. He shall prolong his days. And the blood.
All right, Shalom.
This is Psalms 44 and 5, and it reads, "Through thee we will push down. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us." Through the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, through the doctrine, through faith. That's how we're going to be able to prevail through Jacob's trouble. Let's get it again. Psalms 44 and 5, and it reads, through thee will we push down our enemies, all those that rise up against us. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. Esau, Edom, the wicked elite, our own people, the wicked of our own nation. Psalms 44 and 6, "For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. Neither shall my sword save me." Who's going to save us? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Psalms 44:7. But thou hast saved us. But thou hast saved us, not our sword. But thou, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, has saved us from our enemies and has put them to shame that hated us. That's how we're going to get the victory. Through faith and through belief in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And him showing mercy to us. The book of Romans 8:5, and it reads, "For they," let's get 4 as well. Yep. Let's get 5. Let's get right to the point. "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh," and this is fleshly activity. They're not walking in the spirit. They're not believing that the angel of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai encampeth around them that fear him and delivered them. They're counting on Esau Edom's blessing. Once again, let's play this one more time. And they're going to make Jake to be the face of terror, coming into Jacob's trouble, which is expected. You're going to have more agent activity like this pop up. Men trying to justify, counting on Esau Edom's blessing.
Shalom. We at it again. You know what I'm saying? Out here waking up good people. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to do.
And you ain't waking up nobody. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is. He's just using us as instruments to do so.
This the book of Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 10. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He had put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days. And the blood.
All right, Shalom. All praise to Yah.
Great lesson by the elder. I would suggest you subscribe so you can be edified. And also, more unrighteous decrees, which we'll get back to. We'll play a little bit of this as well. I may play this on the next part, or I may play this at the end. Just see where the Spirit takes me. But you have this going on in the UK. Unrighteous decrees as far as them implementing unrighteous decrees in the form of no protesting, no peaceful assembling, and them imposing jail time for those who do so. And that's eventually going to come to Babylon the Great. And that's also in the Illuminati card game. It's called Law and Order, martial law, so on and so forth. As well as gun control is in the Illuminati card game. Romans 8:5. Real quick. "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death." So if you're approaching, these times that are coming in with the carnal mind, you're just like Esau, man. And you're going to receive the reward of being carnally minded, which is death, which is the reward that Esau Edom's going to get. The only ones that are going to be able to survive these times that are coming, these trying times, are the wicked elite and the elect, and the remnants of heathen that are going to be left over in other parts of the earth outside Babylon the Great to be preserved for slavery. Those are going to be the only survivors, man. Everybody else is going to die. Romans 8:6. "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." And what the Lord say about this? John 6:63, right to the point. "It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. And wisdom is too high for a fool." Let's keep it going. So let's go into this real quick. So this came out from the New York Post the same day that this article came out, from the BBC, the British Broadcasting Company. Same day. Let's read it. Let's read the first 2 paragraphs. "Biden goes on anti-gun tirade, suggests there's no rational basis for 9mm pistols." What did Kamala Harris say? Slucky. Where's she at? I had her in here somewhere. Slucky. Kamala Harris. Come on. So Kamala Harris was basically saying the same thing, but she's trying to get an assault weapons ban. I think I may have it pulled up, but yeah, Salakia. Tripping, man. So Kamala Harris is talking about we need to ban assault weapons, you know? And you're going to have a lot of people, you know, they're not going to be having it, man. So this is going to result in, you know, race wars, class wars, you know, civil war, and them justifying bringing down the hammer, them justifying coming in and bringing troops into the streets, you know, so on and so forth. This is Revelation 12 and 12. Let's get the first paragraph of both of these articles. So it reads, President Biden ranted against ownership of what he called high caliber weapons Monday, appearing to suggest that there should be restrictions on the most popular handgun in America, the 9mm pistol, and repeating a previously debunked claim that the Second Amendment prohibits ownership of cannons. And these shootings, a lot of them are just staged, man. You know, set up. There was an article that came out from the news publication called blacklistednews.com, where it talks about this man was, you know, he was communicating with an FBI agent, a former FBI agent, you know, allegedly, you know. And just like with Sandy Hook and some of these massive shootings that happened, what did you see in Buffalo? No blood in the ground, you know? And with the situation that happened in Texas, the storyline is constantly changing. And people are starting to be woken up to this bullshit, man. You know? Once again, never trust thy enemy, man. Let's get that. Sirach 12 and 10. And it reads, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And just me speaking as a man, I don't trust anything that Esau Edom says. You know, when he puts out major news, I'm always skeptical about anything he puts out. That's just me speaking. You know? This monkey bumps situation that you have going on, that's, I mean, just if you ask me, that's some bullshit too, man. You know? Never trust thine enemy, man. This man's a liar. He lies about everything. Who he is, who you are, what's in your food, what he's putting in the skies, barium, aluminum, Baal, what's in the potion, you know? Everything that this man teaches you, 98% of it's a lie, man. You know, if not 99%. Let's go to this next article. Uvalde shooting. Allegedly, Kamala Harris calls for assault weapons ban. And with both of these, you know, alleged shootings, who was the victim or the alleged victim? Jake. You just had a woman get gunned down yesterday, a pregnant woman, you know? And what was she not doing? Agreeing with thy adversary quickly, you know? She thinks because she has that pick and roll situation going on from the garden, you know, she's all buddy with Esau, she thinks she could talk back. You know, she thinks that she could take that same ghetto mentality that she gets over with on Jake and try to use it, you know, and fast talk the cops. The cops don't give a damn about you, man. They hate your ass. You just another nigga. And she got gunned down, you know. Now, I don't know if she survived or not. I haven't looked into it, but I know she got gunned down in the form of she got capped 5 times, you know. And rightfully so. A lot more women are going to die. Let's go to this article though. So it says Kamala Harris, an assault weapon is a weapon of war with no place in a civil society. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has made an impassioned plea for a ban on assault weapons in the wake of 2 deadly mass shootings in the United States, allegedly. So this is something that they've been trying to do for a long time. It's to disarm the public. You know? This is Revelation 12:12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens." Talking about those who are in this knowledge, those who are in this truth. We're the only ones rejoicing. You know, when a person catches judgment, you know, when Esau, Edom issues forth these unrighteous decrees, jail time for protesting, jail time for teaching, you know, trying to take your weapons, so on and so forth. Well, we see that as another sign that our Lord is drawing nigh. You know, his return is drawing nigh. But certain things have to happen. Esau, Edom, he has to be revealed. He has to come down with great wrath. He has to issue the microchip, you know, the MOT to the B, the implantable device. There has to be pestilence, you know, wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, him locking down cities, and all these things are happening all at once in gradual stages, some at a more intensive pace, some starting to get more and more momentum as we get later on into the year. And this is a rightfully coined year by the elder apostle Dahar, and this is the year of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai turning up, and things are only going to get more and more turned up. The oven's only going to get more and more hotter at the Wadi Al Bashim Yahshai. Revelation 12:12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, those that are in this truth, and ye that dwell in them, ye that dwell in this truth. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Destruction to all those who are outside the house of David. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath." And he's going to come down unto those who are in this truth, but we're going to be protected. Some are going to be martyrs, but hey, that's an automatic crown from Yahweh Shai. You know? Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And these Edomites are through. He's losing the information war. His people are starting to realize that he ain't shit. And these lower level Edomites, they're starting to realize that the upper echelon Edomites have turned on them. His dollar's crashing. You know, countries are starting to, you know, limit trade on certain goods and so on and so forth. This place, it's losing more and more every day, man. Psalm 68:1. At the Wadi Al Bashim Yahshai for that. Psalm 68:1. Let the Most High rise, and let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. Let them that hate him flee before him. And what does the scripture say about that? The wicked flee. Slakia. Proverbs 28:1, and it reads, "The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion." The wicked flee when no man pursueth. And Esau Edom, he's so pissed off at this word going out, he's trying to conceal as much as he can of what's going out, but eventually he's going to have no choice but to come down with great wrath. He's fleeing right now in the form of trying to demonize the message, so you know he has a justification for coming after it, you know, because this word is tearing him up. He's trying to flee from the report. And also he's trying to flee from judgment. That's why he's looking to, you know, try to combat Yahweh Shai when he cracks the sky. And that's going to be a failure too, as well as your New World Order. Psalm 68 and 2. As smoke, let's get 68 and 1. Let the Most High rise. Let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melted before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. When Yahushai cracks the skies with the chariots, that's going to be exactly what's going to be happening. They're going to be melted as wax in the fire, man. You know? As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melted before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and the wicked of our people, and you heathen nations. Elam, Moab, Ishmael, all you who are in Babylon the Great, who are not of the house of David, this is going to be your fate right here. You know? You're going to have remnants of the elect of Esau, Edom, as far as the elect of slavery, be preserved, and they're going to be hidden in the caves and the rocks, where the scriptures say you're going to be hidden, to be preserved for slavery. Psalm 68 and 3. But let the righteous be glad, and let them rejoice before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. And that's what's said in the book of Revelation 12 and 12. You know, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Psalm 68 and 3 again. But let the righteous be glad, let them rejoice before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Let them exceedingly rejoice. And we're rejoicing right now because what we're starting to see is the Lord's word starting to play out in full-time speed. They call it game speed. You know, when you play sports, you know, they have practice speed and they have game speed. For those that play football or you play basketball, we're starting to see this thing play out in game speed, man. You know, warp speed on the right hand side at the Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is, let me see, yeah, yep, con. So the next part of this is an article that was published 2 days ago, and it reads: House passes Domestic Terrorism Act, empowering empowering federal agencies to police thought and speech. Now, I did a video on this about a good week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I believe it's on the main channel. It may be on this backup channel. But what they did is they passed the law, basically, to combat dangerous misinformation and disinformation and hate speech and so on and so forth. You know. And what do they have in the UK? Well, they have a similar bill. Let's let the elder tell you about it. Let's play a little bit of this. It's lucky.
They were what they use. Alright, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, salute to those teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. I want to touch on this real quick. And this is going into prophecies, man. And I'm going to bring a couple of scriptures out. But before I do that, I want to go right into this and talk about a bill that's been put through in the UK to do with you protesting. And I'm going to go right to the point. Before I do that, I want to say that they were protesting about this bill. You know, protesters and stuff, different groups. You know, I can probably show you some of that, but there was different groups in the UK protesting for this bill, you know, to not get put in place, and it had to go through, you know, the different procedures to get in. And obviously they knew that it was going to take away protesters' rights, but the thing is it just went in, and when it went in, there's nothing, and I'm going to show that, but there's nothing, no one's talking about it, and it's not been spoken of since all the protests that they were doing 5-6 months ago, big massive protests. It just came in just like that. Now it came in, and you had the Queen's speech, and you had this Prince Charles. The Queen wasn't there, so you had Prince Charles. You know, they took her throne out. She usually does his speech and all of that, but They took her throne out, so they took the throne out that she usually sits on and all of that. And you know, Prince Charles, is his son, if I'm not mistaken, but he did the speech. You know, I forget this. I forget so much stuff, man. You forget who's who sometimes, man. But anyway, what I want to do is let me read this. It says police crime sentencing in court bills, and I'm gonna definitely bring out the scriptures. A whole bunch of scriptures coming to the mind. It says from overcrowded prisons to endemic racial disproportionality, there are many pressing issues across the criminal justice system which need comprehensive, urgent readdress. The police crime sentencing and court bills purports to empower the police and courts to take more effective action against crime and lead to a fair justice system. While some of the aspects of the bill are welcome, such as the expansion of the use of video technology in hearings, the explicit reference to the best interests of the children with respect to remand hearings, and the raising of the threshold for children to be remanded in custody. Justice considers that the bill would not meet this aim. On the contrary, several of the bill's core proposals pose a significant threat to the UK's adherence to its domestic and international human rights obligations, while also lacking an evidential basis to justify their introduction. Alright, now what we're seeing is the rights of the rights, you know, basically you ain't got no rights, you know, they call it privileges really, and they're taking that away, because we're coming into that draconian police state, world police, NWO, New World Order police state. And you know, they're doing stuff over in the UK. They did that global thing, they're doing the global stuff, and they got their avenues of how they're doing it over in the UK. So I'm gonna stay on top of this. Now what I want to do is read the point here. It says part 3, this is the main point, and I'm going to build around this. It says increase powers for police to impose restrictions on peaceful procession, assembly and protest, which would expand the circumstances in which police can impose conditions on a range of activities. For example, religious festivals, community gatherings from Notting Hill Carnival to night fireworks such as those in Lewes, football matches, LGBT alphabet pride marches, vigils, remembrance ceremonies, and so on. So it's going to put restrictions on peaceful processions. Check this part. The bill also removes the need to knowingly. So everything can come. It can be so broad. Now there's another document I got which says it could be a one-man protest. So here you're thinking, oh, it's gonna have to be a massive thing. No, they say it could be a one-man. They could put one man with a placard, and I can show you. They can.
And then when you hold camp, what are you doing? You're protesting the government, man. You know, you're protesting in the form of, even if you go out there by yourself, you know, and they're going to view that as treason or sedition. When it's all good, these things have to happen, you know, and call out y'all Bashim Yashai. These devils are so hurt. They put laws into place to come after the prophets, man. And come on, come on, man, because that's one step closer to Isaiah 59:19 being fulfilled.
Put the restrictions on one man. So you got to understand where this is going. It says the bill also removes the need to knowingly breach police conditions. Let me read that again. The bill also removes the need to knowingly breach police imposed conditions in order to commit an offence, and introduces a broad statutory offence of public nuisance with a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. These changes risk breaching the rights to freedom of expression and assembly, and the requirement for legal certainty. So what's going to be shown here right now is that this is actually in place. This is in place. Since it come out, nothing's been said on it. There was protesting.
And this is already in place in Babylon the Great, man. Just to show you guys. It's lucky. I have to go back into my photos. They have the FEMA executive orders. You know? And the FEMA executive orders, let's just go through them real quick. So 10990 allows the government to take over all models of, transportation and control of the highways and seaports, allows the government to seize control over the communication media, allows the government to take over all electrical, power, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals. And during a national emergency, FEMA is the head of the government. And they can do this at any given time, man. And some of these things they're already doing in gradual steps. But yet, Executive Order 11000 allows the government to mobilize civilians into work brigades under government supervision. Slackers. And that's those concentration camps, Executive Order 11001 allows the government to take over all health, education, and welfare functions, which they've done, through this thing that they've done the past 2 years. You need a mask to go in any type of medical facility, and with certain of them, you actually need the potion, Executive Order 11002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons, and they're starting to put that into effect. I covered that in part 1 of the lesson. Executive Order 11003 allows the government to take control over all airports and aircraft, including commercial aircraft. Look up HR 4980. I'll pull it up right here because I pulled it up last night. HR 4980. I'll leave it on the screen for 20 seconds. You can read it on your own. HR, it's like an executive order 11004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities, build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned, and establish new locations for populations. I wonder how they're going to do that. Well, the first part of this lesson covered, how they're going to do that in the form of disarming the public. Because if they don't have anybody to fight back, they don't have any resistance as far as armed civilians, then they can do this with ease. Slovakia. Executive Order 11005 allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all the executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions or economic or financial crisis, which we're in increased international tensions. Also, we're in a state of national emergency. Executive Order 11310 grants authority to the Department of Justice to enforce the plans set out in the executive orders to institute industrial support, to establish judicial and legislation liaison, to control all aliens, to operate what penal and correctional institutions, and to advise and assist the president. The right to throw your ass in prison, man. Executive Order 11049 assigns emergency preparedness function to federal departments and agencies, consolidating 21 operative Not the best reader sometimes. 21, almost said Tupperware. It's like it. 21, operative executive orders issued over a 15-year period. Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency, FEPA, to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution of energy sources, blackouts, which they're already advertising to you, wages, universal basic income, salaries, universal basic income, credit, the MOTB, and the flow of money in the U.S. financial institution in any undefined national emergency, which we're in right now. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the president, Congress cannot review the action for 6 months, which we're still in the state of emergency, man. Slacky. What's that? Another lesson? Yeah. Slacky. Let's go. Yeah, let's get a few more precepts and wrap on up. So I may have to make a part 4. I don't want to make these too long. Revelation 2 and 9. And it reads, I know thy works and tribulation and thy poverty, but thou art rich. Slacky. Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. A crown of life. That's what we're looking forward to getting. It talks about that, James 1 and 12. And it reads, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord Yahushua hath promised to them that love him. Those who endure temptation. Let's open the blue letter. Let's see what this says as far as temptation. Slack it. Oh, phone dying. Come on. James 1 and 12. And Lord's will, I get part 4 done tonight. I'll just probably do it after camp, Lord's will, because, camp, I got to get ready for it. I got to let this phone charge. James 1 and 12. And it reads, blessed is the man that endured temptation. Now that word for temptation is parismos.
Strong's G 3986. Parismas.
Parismas. And the root word is paizo. Yep. To try, make trial, test for the purpose of asserting his quality or what he thinks or how he will behave himself. Yep. To try or test one's faith, virtue, character by enticement to sin, to commit the great sin, which is taking the MOT to the beat, temptations of the devil, Yep. Of the Most High to inflict evils upon one in order to prove his character and steadfast of his faith. Yep. And that's what we're going to have to go through, the straight gate. Once again, James 1 and 12. Slakia. James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endured temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord Yahushua promised to them that love him. Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. We're going to have to face all those things head on, and to persevere the times coming. Because we're going to have to go through Jacob's trouble. It's not going to be a smooth ride, Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. Parizo. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him, in the book of Revelation. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Yep. Daniel 8:25. And it reads, let's go into this domestic terrorism bill a little bit. So the U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday passed a new bill to expand the federal government's ability to spy on Americans in an alleged effort to combat domestic terrorism. Who's the face of domestic terrorism as far as Esau Edom is concerned? The number one domestic terrorism threat in the United States, according to the FBI and DHS, is the prophets. You know, those who are speaking out against this man, exposing his wickedness, telling them who he is, telling them what's going to happen to them, telling them that this place is going to be destroyed, telling them that he's Esau Edom, telling them that he's the wicked, telling them that he's the damn devil. H.R. 350, or the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act, was passed 222. Knowledge. And that's who they're coming after. The men with the knowledge. H.R. 350, the Domestic Terrorism, just like it. I'm going to calm down. H.R. 350, or the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act, was passed 222 to 203. Almost entirely, yada, yada, yada. The Hill reported that the legislative proposal would create domestic terrorism offices within the Department of Homeland Security, the DOI, the Department of Justice, and the FBI that would be tasked with monitoring and scrutinizing potential terror activity. These videos, you know, specifically emphasizing terror activity motivated by quote-unquote white supremacist or neo-Nazi sentiments. Yeah, right. Democrats have largely promoted the bill as a response to the horrific mass shooting. And they have a strategy that they use called problem, action, solution. They come up with the problem, they create a reaction because they control the media, and they introduce a solution and get people to bite on it because they advertise the solution over and over and over in their massive media. And the solution is to, you know, disarm you, you know. Daniel 8:25, and through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, in his la'ab, in his mind. I'm God, you know. I got this implantable device. It's going to be able to cure everything. But first I need to disarm you. You know, I need to reprogram your genetic structure, you know, with this potion that I've been pushing the past 2.5 years. You know, also I need to, you know, do as much defiling to your children as I can. I freak them out, you know, tranny them out, fag them out, you know, feed them GMO foods, you know. He's magnified himself in his heart to think that he can get away with all this too. Daniel 8:25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. When they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but shall be broken without hand, because Yahushua is not going to have to lift a finger. It's going to be the angels. You know, let's get Daniel 7:25. Daniel, Slaki, 7:25. And Lord's will, I can do part 4 on the late night after camp. Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and to think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand for a time and times and the dividing of times, because we've been in this devil's hands several times, the Greeks, the Romans, and then now, you know. And he's speaking great words against the Most High, you know, calling the Bible conspiracy theory, saying it's a fiction, blaspheming the Heavenly Father's name, his Son's name, his tabernacle, and them that dwelt in heaven, his people, you know. taking down our videos, striking our pages, trying to wear us out, got us working, paying taxes to him, paying tribute, barely get to, enjoy any of the, the money that you do have here, the wealth that you do have here. You get it, and then all of a sudden those holes that are in your bag start to suck away all your riches. And this is in our rest anyway, but we do things in balance. You got to have fun here and there, and you can barely have that, because this isn't our rest and this place is defiled. And this man is oppressing the shit out of us. Revelation 12:17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, talking about Israel, that woman's Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. The remnant of her seed is the elect. And the dragon was wroth. That dragon's Esau, Edom, the beast, And the dragon was wroth with the woman, Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, the elect, which keep the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. And that's the prophets, What does the scripture say about that? Psalms I think it's 105. Yep. Psalms 105:15, saying, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. Because as soon as you come after the prophets, it's game over for you. That standard will be lifted, But let's get this. Let me see. Let's get one more. Let me see. Anything else I can get? I think I'll close it on out with that. Lord's will, this is a edifying lesson. Lord's will, I'll get to part 4 tonight. And, Lord's will, that'll be edifying, informative as well. But in closing, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachach Wadash, giving double honors unto the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom unto the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the men, women, and children, listening and learning from the servants of prophets Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, and a hearty shalom to the sincere brethren, doing the work in truth and sincerity, spread across the four winds of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling and election sure. Shalom, shalom. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of valor in the DTA camps. The first camps I ever heard the truth from, Isaiah 62 verses 6 through 7. Ye that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, keep not silence, and give him no rest day or night, till Jerusalem is a praise in the earth. So, Lord's will, you found this edifying. Just to wrap on up, they're coming after the guns, which is biblical prophecy. They have to do that. They're, doing it in Canada, and they're looking to do it in the United States. There goes Creepy Joe right there, Kamala Harris. And you have them looking to, blame the prophets. And they have those unrighteous decrees set up with executive orders in the United States and newly passed bills in the United Kingdom to, come down with great wrath and to start coming in no holds barred, which is good. These things have to happen. All biblical prophecy being played out. All signs that we're in the end time and we're in the end game. The signs of our redemption drawing nigh. So with that, I'd like to close on out. And in closing, Shalom, DTA, Wa Abba Babal. Soon. See you in a few hours, Lord's will, at camp. Shalom.